Some of the loneliest people are the ones who ignore messages, avoid calls, and slowly disappear from everyone around them. They want someone to text them first, but when the notification finally appears, they suddenly don't know what to say. Sometimes they spend 20 minutes emotionally preparing to reply just to send. Well, yeah, they crave emotional closeness, deep conversations, someone who truly understands them. Yet the moment connection starts becoming real, they slowly pull away. And from the outside, this behavior looks confusing, because how can someone feel lonely while also avoiding the very thing they want most? But psychology suggests something deeper is happening underneath this contradiction. Sometimes people avoid connection, not because they dislike people, but because connection stopped feeling emotionally safe. For some people, closeness became associated with disappointment, rejection, emotional exhaustion, or being misunderstood. So, over time, their mind learned something painful, wanting connection and fearing connection at the same time. And that creates exhausting internal conflict, because part of them desperately wants to be understood, while another part prepares to get hurt again. A lot of emotionally avoidant people are not emotionally cold. In fact, many of them feel things very deeply. They replay conversations in their head for hours, overthink small tone changes, think about reaching out constantly, then convince themselves not to. That's why some people isolate themselves. While secretly hoping someone notices, quietly, they disappear a little, just to see who comes looking for them. When someone repeatedly experiences emotional inconsistency, betrayal, rejection, or feeling emotionally unsafe, the mind starts protecting itself before pain even happens. So instead of relaxing into connection, they become cautious, hyperaware, emotionally guarded. They want closeness, but they also expect disappointment. That's why they may crave intimacy one day and withdraw the next. Not because their feelings are fake, but because vulnerability feels unpredictable to them. Some people became so used to protecting themselves that they no longer know when they're safe anymore. And eventually, self-protection stops feeling like a reaction and starts feeling like a personality. That's why emotionally exhausted people often disappear for long periods of time. Not because they don't care, but because interacting starts feeling mentally heavy. Fake energy exhausts them. Forced conversations exhaust them. Feeling emotionally on all the time exhausts them. So eventually, solitude starts feeling more predictable than people. At least when they're alone, their nervous system can finally rest for a moment. But even while isolating themselves, the desire for connection never fully disappears. That's the contradiction. Deep down, most emotionally avoidant people are not searching for endless social interaction. They're searching for emotional safety. A connection where they don't have to overthink every word. A person who doesn't punish vulnerability. Someone whose presence feels calm instead of emotionally demanding. Because what they truly fear is not the people themselves. It's the emotional pain they learned can come from people. And perhaps the saddest part is this. Many people who avoid connection are actually the ones who crave love the deepest. Because they know exactly how painful emotional loneliness feels. They just became terrified of experiencing it again through the wrong people. So they hesitate, overthink, pull away, disappear. Not because they don't care, but because caring became emotionally risky. Healing for these people usually doesn't begin by forcing themselves to become more social overnight. It begins when they finally experience relationships that feel emotionally safe. People who are patient, consistent, calm. Because slowly, the mind starts learning something new. That not every connection ends in disappointment. That not everyone leaves. And over time, the same person who once avoided everyone can slowly begin opening up again. Not because their personality changed, but because their mind finally stopped feeling like it had to protect itself all the time.